Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. We're
Yeah.
picking up where we left off, looking at selling your house quickly, for cash, and particularly this company called Sell That House to Me. So we're going to kind of dig into what all of that means today, how it can work for you.
Yeah, exactly. Our mission today is to help you understand what it looks like to sell a house for cash, especially if you're in the Rowlett, Texas area. We want to look at how that can be a solution in a few different situations.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, maybe you are in Rowlett or maybe just a nearby area like Rockwall, Garland, Saxe, Wiley, Heath, Fate, or even Dallas, and maybe you've thought about a fast sale, or maybe you just want to know more about how to work the real estate market in a different kind of way. So let's dive in and figure out how all of this works. If getting a cash offer for your house, a fair cash offer, sounds good to you, and especially if you're in a tough spot and you need to sell quickly, go visit sellthathouse2me.com. They can help you get cash for your house really quickly and easily.
Yeah, so to get started, let's talk about, who Sell That House to Me is. They're a company that buys houses all across the U.S., but what's important for you guys is that they have a special focus in Rowlett, Texas, and all those surrounding areas like Rockwall, Garland, Saxe, Wiley, Heath, Fate, and Dallas.
Okay, so a really strong local presence there in that kind of eastern Dallas corridor.
Right, exactly.
And it seems like what really sets them apart is that they really work hard to make the selling process really easy and fast for people. And they do that by giving you a fair cash offer, so you don't have to spend all that time and money getting the house ready, fixing things up, making it look all pretty for people to come look at it.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of it, right? I mean, think about all the typical things you got to do when you sell a house, like getting it ready for showings, having all those open houses, and then even if you get an offer, you're waiting for the buyer to get their financing approved.
Like you're just in limbo, right?
Exactly. Sell That House to Me, they just take all of that away. Plus, you don't have to pay real estate agent commissions, and they will often cover the closing costs, too. All that stuff can add up, and it just slows things down. And because they're not waiting for a mortgage company to give the thumbs up, they can close super fast. In fact, a lot of times they can close in as little as 7 business days.
7 business days. Wow, that's incredibly fast.
Yeah.
So we also took a look at the Rowlett market for this deep dive, right? What did we learn?
Yeah, well, Rowlett is a super cool suburb east of Dallas, and what makes it so attractive is that it's right on Lake Ray Hubbard. That's a big draw for a lot of people. Median home prices there, as of this recording, are around $425,000, and houses typically stay on the market for like 45 to 65 days. That's just an average, of course.
Okay, so a really desirable area, and I noticed our research called it lakeside charm.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were certain neighborhoods that seemed to be even more sought after than others,
Right.
like Waterview,
Mm-hmm.
Lakeside Village, and Bayview Estates.
For sure. Yeah, those areas are all about that lakeside living. But, even in a market like Rowlett where there's a lot of interest, sometimes sales can just kind of drift.
Drip.
Yeah, what I mean is a house might be on the market longer than expected, even if there are buyers looking.
Oh, I see.
That can happen for a lot of reasons. Maybe demand from buyers goes up and down. Maybe more similar houses come on the market. Or maybe it just takes time for the right buyer to find the house and then get their mortgage approved. So, that's where a company like Sell That House to Me can be a great option for sellers who need to sell fast. Maybe they're not worried about getting every last dollar out of the sale, but they need things to move quickly.
Right. So for somebody in Rowlett who needs to get their house sold, they might not have 45 to 65 days to wait around.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, so let's break this down. How does it work? How do you actually sell your house for cash to Sell That House to Me?
Well, the first thing you do is reach out to them. You can visit their website or call them. Then their team will get to work assessing your property. And they can usually do this with a pretty quick walkthrough, or you can just give them a really detailed description of the house, what kind of shape it's in.
So it sounds like they're not going to do like a super thorough appraisal or anything right off the bat.
Nope. No. They'll look at things, but no deep dive yet.
Gotcha.
We'll take a look at the condition of your house, what the market's doing in Rowlett at that time, and then they'll give you a cash offer. And it's important to remember, this is a no obligation cash offer. You don't have to take it.
So no pressure.
Exactly.
And they mentioned that there's no haggling, so you just get a straight offer.
Right.
Okay, and what happens if you say yes to the offer?
Well, if you decide to accept their offer, they get moving really quickly to get everything finalized. Their whole goal is to avoid those typical delays that happen when you're selling a house, especially when you're waiting for a buyer to get a mortgage. Because they're buying with cash, there's no bank involved, they're not waiting for loan approvals. They also handle all the paperwork for you, which makes it much easier on your end.
Much less stressful.
Yeah. Like we said, they try to get everything closed in about 7 business days.
Okay, so the advantage here is that you're trading a little bit of potential profit for speed and ease, right?
Yeah.
You might not get top dollar for your house, but you get a guaranteed sale, and it's a lot less hassle.
Right.
And that seems like it'd be a huge benefit in certain situations.
Hmm.
And speaking of that, we saw in the research that there are some specific scenarios where a cash offer could really be like a lifesaver.
Yeah, for sure. Like, for example, when homeowners are facing foreclosure, that's a really tough spot to be in. A fast cash offer could be exactly what they need to avoid losing your house altogether. Another situation where a cash offer is a great solution is during a divorce. When you need to divide assets and move on quickly, it's just a lot easier to sell the house fast for cash.
It's just one less thing to worry about during a really hard time.
Yeah, exactly. Also, sometimes people just have to move really quickly. Maybe they got a new job in another state, or they're moving to a new part of Texas, maybe from Rowlett over to Rockwall. And they don't have time to go through the traditional listing process.
Yeah.
Or someone might inherit a house, maybe like that older home near Lake Ray Hubbard that we saw in the research.
Yeah.
And they don't want to deal with owning a property that needs work. They'd rather just get the cash and be done with it.
Yeah.
And then there are people who just want a simple, no hassle sale, no matter what. They're tired of making repairs, staging their house for showings, all the uncertainty that comes with the normal process.
I can see that. Okay, so it seems like sell that house to me. They really get why people in Rowlett might need to sell their house fast. And they're ready to help.
For sure, and they're proud of that.
Okay, so aside from the details about how it all works, our research also included some testimonials from folks who've used Sell That House to Me. What did those tell us about the company?
Those testimonials really put a face on everything we've been talking about.
Yeah.
It's like seeing how it actually worked out for real people. There was Tara S. in Waterview who called her house a lake weekend chore. She was thrilled about how fast they got her cash. And then there was Mike R. from Lakeside Village. He had a job relocation and was able to get cash for his house in just 8 days.
8 days.
8 days. No more long commute for Mike.
Mhm.
And then we heard from Jen P. from Bayview Estates. She had a fixer-upper she needed to get rid of. Sell that house to me, bought it for cash, and she said it gave her lakeside freedom. I like that.
Lakeside Freedom. Nice. It sounds like Sell That House to Me really understood their individual situations and helped them each out. And they weren't just focused on or making the sale. It was about helping these folks move forward.
Right, yeah.
And it really does emphasize those key benefits we've been talking about, speed, convenience, getting that cash in hand fast so people can move on to the next thing. Now, we saw that Sell That House to Me. They don't just work in Rowlett. They buy houses all over, right?
Yeah, yeah. They buy houses in all those surrounding communities we were talking about before, like Rockwall, Garland, Saxe, Wiley, Heath, Fate. They even buy houses in Dallas. So if you live in any of those places and you're looking for a fast and easy way to sell your house, you can visit sellthathouse2me.com and get a fair cash offer. They really understand that sometimes life throws a curveball, and they're there to help.
So I guess, looking back, what's the biggest takeaway here, for our listeners? What's the most important thing to remember about all of this?
Well, I'd say the big takeaway is that if you need to sell your house fast, a company like Sell That House to Me that will give you a cash offer can be a really good option,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're going through something difficult, like we were talking about before, facing foreclosure, going through a divorce, having to move suddenly. Or maybe you just want to avoid the stress of selling your house the traditional way.
Right. And it seems like these companies, they take all the complicated stuff out of it. They make it easy so you don't have to do repairs, you don't have to pay real estate agent fees, and you can close the deal much faster than usual.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, it's really about helping people out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Giving them the chance to get cash for their house so they can get through whatever they're going through.
Yeah, it's about offering peace of mind.
So if you've been thinking about selling your house and you're not sure about doing it the traditional way, maybe it just feels like too much to deal with, or if you need to sell quickly because of something that's going on in your life, you should really look into getting a cash offer from Sell That House to Me. You can visit their website, sellthathouse2me.com, and get a fair cash offer today. It might be exactly what you need to make things easier.
Definitely a good option if speed and simplicity are important to you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, we hope this has been helpful. See you next time.